angle XWD is 58 degrees, how do we find that arc? What kind of angle is angle XWD?
It is an acute angle. Wait, inscribed.
Inscribed. And how does it, because it's on the circle, how does an inscribed angle relate to its arc? Okay, the inscribed angle is half of its arc. So if this is half as big as this, then what do we put for this?
116 degrees.
Yeah, so we have to do times 2 to get the arc. Number 3. Same thing. Well, it's opposite, but you know the arc, not the angle. Okay, number 3. 3 kind of has a trick. We're getting a couple tricks pretty early here. Any ideas for 3?
No.
We divide it by 2.
Okay, no. JL is a what?
Radius.
Diameter. And what does a diameter do to a circle? Splits it in half. So what's that bottom right arc have to be? 180.
Uh-oh.
Yucky.
Oh, I get it.
You're fired.
Why does this circle look so messed up? Looks like it has a bowl.
Okay, so this is like 180. And up here is 108. I guess I didn't draw that. 108. So how could we find this angle, this arc?
We add it together and then minus by 360.
Yeah, these 3 arcs together make the whole circle. The whole circle should be 360. So 360 minus, looks like an exclamation point. Did that happen? It's math, exclamation point. 288, 360 minus 288 is 112, or 1.
I wonder if they talk about, like, parent-teacher conferences.
Okay, so Caden, if this arc is 72,
Yes.
what does this angle right here have to be?
72 divided by 2.
72 divided by 2. Number 5. Okay, on 5, what do you think 17x minus 2 is referring to?
The center angle.
No. Huh?
It's impossible to tell.
No. We're talking about angles and arcs and stuff, not diameter lengths. Angle T.
Why would it be on angle T?
Oh, it's like closer to S.
Because, they did this on a computer, so it doesn't fit in there very well.
Oh, bro.
Anyway, it's got to be angle T. So this is 116. Okay. Shannon, any ideas? How about this arc? What would this arc have to be?
180.
Yeah. Same as the last time. That's a diameter, so this has to be 180 degree arc. So 116, 180, and that arc RS have to add up to 360. 360 minus, what is it, 296? 64? So Shannon, if that arc is 64, and we're looking for x here, how do I write the relationship between these two, the equation? Yeah, you could do this times 2 equals that, or you could do this divided by 2 equals that. It should both work. Either way. So 2 times those guys kind of basic at that point. That's all they wanted was X on this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next section, they want the actual arc, not just the X. That was number 5. Number 7. Okay, this one kind of tripped me up for quite a while in the last class because I could not tell where those angles were supposed to be at. You guys have a guess where they're supposed to be?
Maybe like X, like angle, like they're, whatever you call the ones, like the thing we did a couple of chapters ago. No, they're like opposite, it's like on the line, like the parallel line thing.
No. Okay, I'm pretty sure they meant to put it right here and right here. Pretty sure. Oh, where did I miss? All right. Anna, any ideas of how those two angles are related to each other? They're not vertical angles. These would be vertical angles like right here. But no, that's not right. They're not right there. They're in this, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be in this corner. Anybody else see something? Let me switch to red. I can highlight this. Okay, do you guys see the arc that 10x plus 8 intercepts? Goes like here and here. So it has this arc. And what arc does this angle intercept? Same one. So if they both have the same arc, what's that tell us about these angles? They have to be the same. So it's just 10x plus 8 equals 12x minus 2. What do we do when we have x's on both sides? Get rid of the x's on one side. Usually it subtracts. In some cases it could be like divide both sides by x or something. Okay, is x equals 5? Is that my final answer? No. What they actually were asking for was arc YZ, this red thing over here. So, Anna, any ideas how we could find arc YZ? Okay, if x is 5, how does that help me? What would this angle have to be? Yeah. And by the way, this one would have to be the same thing, right? Remember those are equal. But if this angle, this inscribed angle is 58, what does that tell me about this arc? Huh? Yeah, it's times 2. Just like it's like the same numbers from number 1, remember? The inscribed angle is 58. Its arc must be 116. Alright. You guys starting to get this stuff in your head yet? The other class did not remember the rules for the next few pages. Well, I said the other class, as a whole, some of them did. Okay, we're back to number 1. Alright. I'm gonna try to draw that really quickly. You guys remember what kind of line this was right here? Tangent. Okay, that makes this angle look kind of weird, but basically it's still an inscribed angle. Technically maybe not, but it basically is, because it's still got its vertex on the circle, so it's still gonna equal half of its arc. Do you guys see its arc? All this stuff. So it's gonna be half of all that. Now, did they tell us what that was? No. They told us that this was 190. So, Olivia, if that's 190 up here, how do I find all this stuff down here? Yes, 360 minus that. I think that makes 170. So if this is 170, how do I get that guy? Inscribed angles, I was talking about it, are equal to half their arc. So divide by 2. Yeah. It's been so long since we talked about lesson 2 from this chapter. This was not lesson 2, I was just remembering it. You're going to totally forget that by the time we do the review. Lesson 2 was like where we talked about tangent lines. And when the radius hits the tangent line, it makes a 90-degree angle, and two tangents from the same circle create congruent segments and all this stuff. We did a lot of Pythagorean theorem. Okay, anyways, moving on. Let's go back to blue. Go to blue. Number 3. You guys like the shade of blue?
It's like spider-man. Kind of basic, like Spider-Man.
You like blue-green? Huh?
It says like Spider-Man blue.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of Nick Cooper's eyes.
Stop.
Bro.
Alright, now I'm changing the
Never
color.
used the shade of blue ever again. What does it look like to that?
Alright, Issa, do you remember how we did the formula for number 3? You better remember how we did number 3. Hope.
Is it 135 minus 59 divided by 2?
Yes. So when you have the angle on the outside, it's the far arc minus the near arc divided by 2. So 135 minus 59. You guys gotta get these in your head by the time we take the test. They're not big, complicated formulas, but somehow you gotta get them to stick in there. Yep. Alright, and what does that make? 70, is it 38? Alright, Issa, so number 5 is outside the circle again, so how could we set that one up?
Subtract and go back.
Just tell me what's right.
130 minus 45.
Nope,
Oh, minus 45.
nope.
I don't know how to do it.
Okay, on number 3 we did 135 minus 59 divided by 2 equals the angle. So on number 5, what would it be? What's different about number 5 from number 3? Yeah,
It's different from number 5 to number 3. It doesn't have, it has the corner, not the.
has the angle, not the arc. So how do we set it up? Just like number 3, try.
Just stick
Try again.
Again?
130 minus what?
Minus what, x?
Yes. Divided by 2 equals 45. You get it?
Sure.
130, it's the arc minus the arc divided by 2 equals angle. The difference is we don't know what the arc is this time, so we got to solve for it. So what's the algebra step here to solve? Isa.
Get rid of the stuff.
How do we solve this for x?
I don't remember. Leave me alone.
You don't have to remember, you just have to use, okay. How do I get rid of divide by 2? Multiply by 2. Sound kind of like Willow.
Thanks.
Willow, did
No,
you
I don't.
pass your gift on?
Probably.
There's like, I told,
Did you say you're fine? Yes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. You don't have to say that, so I'm calling really bad.
I'm fine.
And so I gotta get rid of the other one.
By fine you mean I have COVID or I don't have COVID?
No, I don't have COVID. I tested for it like last night.
You just have a normal sickness. Okay, so if you subtract 130, you get negative x is negative 40, so x is... Now, if you got a negative answer for an angle, that doesn't really make sense on these questions, so you probably did something wrong. But negative x means it's positive 40. Okay, so number 7. All right, Anya. So on 7, the angle is inside the circle. So if the angle is inside the circle, how do we set that one up? Do you remember?
Was it 185 minus 55?
No, that's when it's outside the circle. So guess if that's outside, yes, it's plus. So it's the 2 arcs that angle intercepts, the 185 and the backside 55. You add them together, divide by 2. It's kind of like the average.
Sharp.
The average P by degree.
So that adds up to 240 divided by 2, 120.
What's the hottest one to make?
Oh, why did I say
What?
What's the hottest one to make?
Please don't.
Okay, on number 9, you guys watching, listening?
Yes.
So, what problem, Shelby, does number 9 look most like that we've already done? Or a couple problems. Yeah, numbers 3 and number 5. The angle's outside the circle. So, what's the problem though? They did not give us one of the arcs. So how do we find the major arc on that circle?
360 minus 125.
Right. There's only 2 arcs on that circle that are drawn. So if the little arc, minor arc's 125, the major arc is 360 minus 125. Which is like, what, 235? Yeah. Okay, so we got ugly. And we're looking for x there, so how do I write that?
235 minus 125 divided by 2.
Alright, I believe that is 110 divided by 2. The arcs add up to 360 because there's only 2 arcs in the circle. Number 11. Willow, does that look more like number 9 or more like number 7? So how did we do 7?
You add it and then divide by 2.
Add and divide by 2. Well, adding divide by 2 is the average. What's the average of 70 and 90? Like what's right between 70 and 90? 80. Number 13. All right, Eli. How do we find, so this time, it's kind of like number 1 from a couple pages ago, but this time we know the angle, and we gotta do the arc. So if angle BCD is 60, what does that arc on the bottom have to be?
120.
Yes, 120 he said. So if this is 60, this is 120. And if this is 120, what's that leave for the rest of the circle?
240.
Right, 360 minus 120, 240. There is another way to do that. Did anybody think of the other way? If this is 60, this angle right here is 120, and then this will be twice as big as that. Number 15. We've seen one like this before, but it's kind of like, I don't remember who did that one. Who did number 9? Was it Shelby? Yeah, I feel like Shelby's probably. So, Forrest, you know how we're gonna set this one up?
So basically, you go subtract 360, 245, get that mirror angle, which would be 115.
Okay, yeah, there's only 2 arcs in this circle. So they have to add up to 360. 360 minus 245 is what he said. 115. And how do I set that up for X?
And then it's 245 minus 115 divided by 2.
So that would be 130 divided by
65.
last one. 8, 18, 26. Here on it. Oh, hey, everybody got exactly one problem. What are the y'all's?
Fourth. Why you do that? Because in what's her name's class,
Chicken?
and I forgot his class, but like they pronounce the words. They run in like.
Alright, do you guys see what's different about this one?
We don't.
The arc is unknown, so Hope, how can I set this one up?
Is it the 155 minus x divided by 2 equals 1?
Yes. The unknown value is kind of in the middle of the equation. 155 minus blank, minus x, divided by 2. And then what do we do to solve this for
Multiplied by 2.
times 2 gets rid of that guy? And then was that 47?